Welcome to the deep dive of Dvar Malchus, the Rebbe's Parsha Talks of the years 1991 and 1992, Tafshin Aleph and Tafshin Beis. My name is Hannah Margulies, and I'm so honored and grateful for this opportunity to dive into these texts together. This is part of the GeulaWives podcast. GeulaWives is all about living Geula in our marriages, revealing and tapping into and receiving the beauty, connection, peace, and joy, purpose that is possible in all of our marriages, living the marriages of our dreams and truly experiencing Geula. This specific series is focused on the Geula part of GeulaWives, as we really live with ideas of Moshiach and really live with these powerful concepts of what Geula is. In the Rebbe's words, it allows us as the Chassidus, as the mainstay of our home, to infuse our homes with the energy of Geula. And of course, that energy of Geula, that is the energy of Shalom Bayis, the energy of true and complete peace. So the merit of learning these talks, we should be able to have true Shalom Bayis within ourselves, our minds, and our heart, within us and our husbands, within us and our homes, and the ultimate home for God in this world. That is the true Shalom Bayis. Thank you for joining, and let's dive in. This week's Dvar Malchus is really special. This is the Shabbos that precedes Tisha B'Av and leading to Tu B'Av, and it's Shabbos Chazon. So we know from the Berditchever that every single Jew receives a vision of the third Beis Hamikdash on this Shabbos. So whether that's conscious or unconscious, but that is the spiritual reality at play. So get ready, prepare ourselves this Shabbos night, Shabbos Chazon, to have this vision, this revelation of the third temple. And so this tells us that this time is not a time of, in essence, mourning the Beis Hamikdash, but it's a time of preparing ourselves and readying ourselves to fully receive the Beis Hamikdash. And the mashal with the Berditchever of why are we seeing this third temple is there's this analogy of a father who makes his son this beautiful suit, and the son goes out and plays and it gets destroyed. So he builds him another suit and it gets destroyed. So for the third suit, he says, let me show you a vision of it, and it's going to prepare you, and it's going to make you excited. So when you get this suit, you're going to know how to take good care of it. And that's the third Beis Hamikdash. We're having this vision because it's so close and it's so soon and so now, to allow ourselves to be prepared to know how to take care of this new amazing Beis Hamikdash that we're preparing ourselves to receive. So this month of we have a pasuk. We have this quote that where is it? Sorry. Okay. What? Oh, the very first page? Okay, great. Okay, so the very first page in the Dvar Malchus of the month of... Okay, amazing. So, a lion came during the muzzle of Aryeh, the 5th month, and destroyed Ariel, the temple. In order for the lion to come, this is the Holy One, blessed be he, during the muzzle of Aryeh, the lion, and will overturn their grief into joy, and will build the third temple, meaning the Beis Hamikdash was only allowed to be destroyed on condition, on the nas, that what's going to happen in the same month is that Hashem is going to rebuild the Beis Hamikdash. And so within the destruction itself is already this promise of the construction. There's no such thing as God forbid destroying the temple without already being born that promise of rebuilding it. And we know that in halacha, a person's not actually allowed to destroy a shul ever, unless they're doing construction to make it even better, right? Only if they're tearing it down to build an even better shul in that exact place. And so the destruction is really only for the construction. And we see this in the birthday of Moshiach, which is on the 9th of Av at Mincha time. We know that literally on the last hours of Tisha B'Av, the 9th of Av, the day that the temple was destroyed, that very day, the soul of Moshiach came into the world. This is the birthday of Moshiach. And a birthday is a day that a muzzle is gover, that a person's spiritual reality is strengthened and shining. And so the energy of Mashiach has this super boost on Tisha B'Av that we can all connect to. And this is the reason why that at Mincha of Tisha B'Av, we read Nachem, which is these different verses of praise in the Nusach Arizal Siddur. And the reason for this is because Mashiach is born at this time, and the name of Mashiach is Menachem, right, is this comforter. So something the Rebbe points out here, which is really interesting, is that if Shabbos falls out on Tisha B'Av, what happens is we're not allowed to fast or mourn in any capacity on Shabbos, because Shabbos is a day of tranquility. Shabbos is a day that's eternally good. It's that taste of Mashiach. And we know that every single day of the week has a partner. Every single day gets matched up. But who's Shabbos' partner? So we know it's the Jewish people. And it's also partnered with Moshiach, that it's connected. We look at this psalm of the day of Shabbos, it's connected to this day in the future that's going to be Kula Shabbos, always Shabbos. And so therefore there's no signs of fasting, there's only feasting on the 9th of Av when it falls out on Shabbos. And therefore the fast is always pushed to the next day, which is usually the next available day, usually is Sunday. And so what does that mean? Is that fasting and mourning is not essential to the day. That can be pushed if it's Shabbos. But the energy of Mashiach and Mashiach's birthday and the muzzle of Mashiach's shining and the true comfort that Mashiach brings and the true eternal tranquility that is what we're going towards, that can never be pushed. That is what's essential to the 9th of Av. So the true energy of the 9th of Av is the day that's Mashiach's birth. And the morning, that can be pushed because that's not essentially connected to the day itself. Okay, so the Rebbe also brings us in this idea of Tu B'Av. So what's Tu B'Av? It is the greatest ascent after the greatest descent. It is the full moon that we find in this month of Av. And it's the day when we have it as a great revelation. And what is it actually revealing? It's revealing the greatness of the 9th of Av. What begins to be created on the 9th of Av, this birth of Mashiach, it's not really revealed until the 15th. So too, in the desert, even though people had stopped dying the last year on the 9th of Av, the decree had receded, but they didn't realize that until the full moon was shining, until the 15th of Av. So it's only the 15th of Av that we can really celebrate and realize that no, there's no more need for destruction. This is only for the sake of getting to the ultimate third temple. And so the light of the third Beis Hamikdash is shining and available and abundant on Tu B'Av. But that begins on the 9th of Av. So the Rebbe also connects this with Moshe Rabbeinu's prayer. So Moshe prayed 515 times to go into the land of Israel. And we know that as Moshe Rabbeinu, he wasn't just praying for himself that he wants to go to the land of Israel, because we know that a Rav never leaves his students, and the students never leave a Rav. Like they're essentially connected. If a Rav is exiled, the students have to go with him. If a student is exiled, his teacher needs to go with him. And so what was Moshe Rabbeinu really praying for? He's praying for Dor Adea. He was praying that his generation, the generation of knowledge that was in the desert, are going to merit to go into the land of Israel. To the point that Hashem actually said, stop praying. Like, stop it already, Moshe Rabbeinu. Like, I don't want you to ask me this anymore. And we know that, Hashem was saying, like, hey, you're twisting my arm here. And the Rebbe said it's very possible that Moshe Rabbeinu continued to pray at risk of his own life and risk of his own spiritual life. Moshe Rabbeinu continued to pray because this was too important. What was Moshe Rabbeinu really asking for? He was asking for Mashiach. Because what would have happened? Moshe is Netzach. He represents the idea of the eternality of the Torah. If he were to go into the land with his generation, that's it. They would have built the Beis Hamikdash, and the Beis Hamikdash would have been forever. Like, they would have just leaped to that reality. And of course, we know that Hashem wanted there to be this, this soul journey, this journeys that we've got into to get to this point. But the idea that the Rebbe is bringing out here is just the fact that at risk of his own physical and spiritual life, Moshe Rabbeinu continued to nudge God, so to speak, for Mashiach. And so the Rebbe says this is what we need to be doing, is to be awaiting a Mashiach every moment with this eager anticipation and this joy and screaming Ad Masai, until when? Not being satisfied until we reach to this ultimate place of Yom Kula Shabbos, this place of absolute tranquility. And we should know that all matters of Galus have ended, that we are fit and ready to enter the land. And that is why during these 3 weeks of, leading up to Tisha B'Av, what are we reading? We're reading all these different parshas that are connected to entering the land and conquering the land, because this is the ultimate Mashiach reality, as Jewish people in our land, and specifically that the land even expands, that the whole world is going to be part of Eretz Yisrael. The whole world is going to be elevated to this place of this godly reality where the whole world screams out and knows that this is Hashem's world. And so this Ad Masai is not just a personal prayer for ourselves of I can't handle Galus. No, we're so ready for Geula. We're so fit. We're so expanded. Like we've so stepped into that. And the Rebbe even brings us into this visual of what this is going to mean for us personally. At the Beis Hamikdash, that every single Jew is going to bring a carbon toda, an offering of thanks. An offering of thanks is something that someone brings to the Beis Hamikdash when they've been let out of prison. And because Hashem took us all out of prison, He took us all out of our personal galus, our inner exiles, our fears, our doubts, those insecurities, Hashem took us out and brought us to this place of expansiveness, this day of eternal tranquility, this eternal day of Shabbos, this Mashiach reality. So every Jew is going to be standing in the Beis Hamikdash and bringing this carbon toda, this offering of thanks. So let's prepare ourselves for this ultimate day of tranquility and the celebration of the birth of Mashiach, renewed this year, this muzzle shining on the 9th of Av, and bringing us to this full tuba of Mashiach revelation now. Thank you. To learn more about how GeulaWives can be part of your life and support you to live the marriage of your dreams, visit GeulaWives.org, consider joining the GeulaWives Circle for full support, or step into the light of breakthrough coaching. Looking forward to you experiencing your personal Geula and spreading that light to the entire world.